This is a rather large front door. In fact, it was the front door to my house up until recently. We got a new one, and as the installers were hauling this off to relieve us of the burden of dealing with it, I said, not so fast. Yes, I think if we put our minds to it, we can build a crazy mountain bike feature out of this thing. It's a serious chunk of wood. It's knotty alder, which is a very strong and durable hardwood, but if you leave it out in the woods, it will rot away eventually. And so we have to treat this for the outdoors, and we have to do something about those windows. And I want to keep them, but I want to also be able to ride over them. And so I think I have a solution for that. What I do know is that moving this door is a bummer. So these windows are made from a really thick glass, and the framing here seems more than stiff enough to ride a bike over, but just for some extra stiffness, I'm gonna add steel braces to the opposite side, just so it can't crack all the way through. I don't think that's gonna be a problem, but I'm gonna play it safe. So we got this extra bracing back here. Now let's treat the door, and I'll show you what I'm gonna do about the glass. So the nature of our feature doesn't make me too worried about traction, but just for good measure, we're gonna add this 80 grit sand to the door to give it a little bit more grip. Maybe if I thought this through, I could have mixed it in with the paint beforehand, but this should work. Okay, so here's my plan for the windows. 2-part epoxy. I'm gonna mix this stuff together. We're gonna pour it in there. It's gonna be crystal clear. I hope it makes it stronger. And if it doesn't, then it's gonna break and it'll be on video. But if it holds up, it's gonna be pretty cool. Oh, that definitely pops the bubbles. So I would imagine that every time you mix and pour epoxy, you get a little bit better at it. That was my first time, and so it'll be the worst one I've ever done, but that's okay because this is gonna be outside and we're gonna ride bikes over it. So as long as it's semi-transparent, I think we're happy. So it looks like everything is cured and dry. I did a little grip test with my axial microcrawler, and it looks like the sand was a pretty good idea. And I think with that, we can build something with this. So I'm loading up the gator to transport some materials down the hill. Then I'm gonna show you what I actually have planned for this door feature. So this double roller right here is kind of a huck if you want to clear it. You gotta take a bunch of pedal strokes and yank really hard. When Kevin and I built this, our eyes were bigger than our stomachs. I'm gonna make a pucker pad, on, off, up box, whatever you want to call it, with a door in between these, and then we should be able to approach it. At trail speed, pop off the door and make the landing. And if you're feeling lucky, you can crank at it and clear the whole door. So it'll be kind of a double feature. So I gotta set some posts in the ground and try and get this mostly built before it starts raining so that we can ride it tomorrow. Uh-oh, we better get out of here. There's nothing we can do about the weather except work around it. And once it's dry, we'll come back out, nail this sucker down, take it for a spin. So the gap onto the door is really small, and the gap off of the door is quite substantial, and that's what we want. But the angle is a little bit too aggressive. Probably doesn't look it on video, but it is. So this lip over here was designed to take you all the way to the landing, and it's just way too steep to skip off this door, and so we want to mellow it out. But we also still want to be able to clear the entire double. And so what I'm gonna do is take this big hump of dirt and move it over to the right side of the lip. This way, the left is nice and mellow, it's at the same angle as the door, so you can skip off of it, and the right is still lippy, and we can get up in the air. We've reshaped the lips. I think this will work. Looks easy, but there's something really bad that could happen. If I kind of take off this lip too much and I land too far down the door, I'm gonna break my collarbone. So I'm gonna try and hit it real easy and give her a go. That was one of the most chill things I've ever hit on Berm Peak. It felt really smooth and it was really fun, like it felt good. We could go hit it again. This is really fun, especially because you have 3 hits in a row. You have the door, the banana cannon, and the Benjamin jump. That's what we've been calling it, the Benjamin jump, because it was when wood was really expensive and we got a $100 2x12. But as you remember, we added a lip to the right side so you could just totally clear the door. And we've got to see if that works. So let's give it a try. Kind of chickened out a little bit. I took the low side of the landing and I felt like I had the speed for it, so I gotta try and at least go a little bit over the door. So this is as good of an outcome as I could have hoped for. I chose this feature this week because it was gonna be nonstop rain. Not only did I get it done, but the trails held up great, and the glass didn't shatter. The epoxy worked. It's a little cloudy, but whatever. We're gonna ride bikes over it. It's actually a really easy feature to ride, and it's really, really fun. It just feels good. But with the addition of that door, I feel like Berm Peak is really tied together, and now we can just work after the Benjamin jump and add features there. What are we gonna call it? The Hodor, the Mordor. I hope you had fun building with me today. I hope you learned something, and if you didn't, I hope you were at least entertained. Thanks for riding with me today, and I'll see you next time.